The scoreboard reads 26-0, a shutout. But the truth is, this game between the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans was not decided in the first half or even across 3 quarters. The real story, the detail that many didn't notice, is that the game changed right here in the final stretch in a moment when one sequence lit up the entire stadium. That's why today's breakdown is about one thing, the detail you didn't see that changed the Texans' game. At halftime, Houston held just a 6-point lead, 2 field goals, nothing else. It was far from the dominant final score we saw later. Stroud had played clean but conservative football, the run game showed flashes but not consistency, and the defense carried the load, while Tennessee's kicker missed opportunities. On the surface, the game looked like another low-scoring grind. But then came the turning point. Stay close, because soon we will show the exact snap where the momentum flipped and why the Texans' offense suddenly went from 3 quarters of drought to 3 touchdowns in less than 15 minutes. The third quarter was another chapter of frustration. Houston moved the ball, but penalties and stalled drives kept the lead at 6-0. The first real spark came when Stroud hit Collins for a 37-yard gain down the sideline. It didn't finish in points, but it showed the offense could strike. Ryans mentioned later that this play symbolized resilience. Despite setbacks, the Texans could reset and go again. That attitude mattered because it built the confidence for what was about to come. The first play of the fourth quarter, and this is where the title of this video becomes reality, was the detail most fans didn't fully grasp in the moment. Stroud dropped back, looked right, and fired a strike to rookie running back Marks on a 12-yard route. Touchdown. It was the team's first red zone touchdown all season, and it doubled the lead to 12. That play wasn't just points on the board, it was the release. Stroud himself said afterward, "Sometimes it just takes that one play, that one drive, that one point of emphasis to finally get things rolling." For Houston, that was the drive. Up next, you'll understand how the defense immediately took that spark and turned it into a dagger, forcing a mistake that set up the next touchdown. Barely 2 minutes after the touchdown, cornerback Stingley, who had battled all week just to be active, stepped in front of a throw from Titans quarterback Ward and returned it 20 yards. Suddenly, Houston had the ball deep in enemy territory. On the very next drive, Stroud connected with rookie receiver Higgins for a 24-yard strike in the end zone. In less than 3 minutes, the Texans' 12-point edge had doubled to 19. The timing was brutal for Tennessee. Their offense had been stagnant all day, and now the defense cracked. Houston's rookies were taking over the game, Higgins and Marks delivering the biggest moments. Ryan said it clearly after the game. When you draft rookies, you expect them to make an impact right away. This was exactly that. Both stepped up, both made plays, and both shifted the narrative of the Texans' season. Soon we'll dive into how Marks finished the game off with a run that symbolized Houston's new identity, power, balance, and resilience. Before that closer, it's important to look at how Houston controlled the fundamentals. The run game wasn't spectacular early, but it wore down the Titans' front. Chubb and Marks combined for one of their best outings of the season, grinding out yards that set up manageable downs. That balance kept Stroud from having to carry everything on his shoulders. The offensive line, after early penalties and pressure, settled in and gave just enough time for the critical throws in the fourth. The defense deserves equal credit. 4 sacks, constant pressure, and most importantly, discipline in coverage. Ryans praised the group for playing a clean game, no big breakdowns, no free releases. Ward finished with just 106 passing yards and an interception. For Tennessee, every drive felt like a dead end, and it was the complementary nature special teams, defense, then offense that turned the fourth quarter into a runaway. Keep watching, because the final touchdown drive, capped by Marks, reveals why Houston believes this was the birth of their true offensive identity. With under 5 minutes left, Marks broke free on an 18-yard run. That score pushed the lead to 26 and sealed the shutout. By then, the energy inside NRG had shifted entirely. From anxiety at 6-0 to celebration at 26-0, the Texans had rewritten their season's tone in less than a quarter. Stroud ended with 233 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a 125 passer rating. Marks posted 119 yards from scrimmage with both a receiving and rushing touchdown. Higgins added his first career score. Collins had nearly 80 yards, and the defense posted its first shutout in 15 years. Ryan summarized it: play clean, play balanced, and this is the result. For the first time all year, Houston showed what happens when every phase works together. The detail you didn't see the moment the game truly changed was not just the touchdown to Marks, it was the combination. The first red zone success of the season, the immediate defensive takeaway, and the rookies proving they can be reliable playmakers. That sequence defined not just the game, but the Texans' outlook moving forward. We'll break down why this win means more than just one in the column and how it could redefine Houston's trajectory in the AFC South. The scoreboard and the stat sheet will tell you Houston won big. But the bigger story is why this victory matters more than just a number in the standings. The Texans were 0-3 heading into Week 4. They had been criticized for failing to finish drives, for lacking red zone production, and for putting too much weight on Stroud's shoulders without balance. That all changed here. The detail you didn't see, the precise shift in the fourth quarter, wasn't just about points. It was about a team discovering how it wants to play. In just a moment, we'll explain why this game finally erased the no red zone touchdowns label and why that could alter every defensive game plan against Houston moving forward. Before this matchup, Houston was the only team in the NFL without a red zone touchdown. 3 games, 0 finishes inside the 20. That streak ended on the very first snap of the fourth quarter when Stroud hit Marks for 12 yards. From that point on, the Texans were no longer predictable. Defenses had to respect both the run and pass inside the 20. Ryans had preached balance since the offseason, and this was the first time the vision materialized on the field. The offense showed trust. Marks was not just a check-down option, he was a weapon. Higgins wasn't just depth, he was a red zone target. Collins stretched the field to loosen coverage. Chubb gave stability with hard runs that set up manageable downs. That combination finally gave Stroud the freedom to deliver without forcing the ball. Up next, we'll highlight how the defense mirrored that same balanced pass rush and coverage, working hand in hand to suffocate Tennessee. The Titans were not just shut out, they were erased. Quarterback Ward finished with only 115 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. He looked hurried, out of rhythm, and by the fourth quarter, visibly rattled. The Texans' defense delivered 4 sacks, and each came from different situations: edge pressure, delayed blitz, and collapsed pockets. Stingley's interception was the headline, but it was the collective discipline that stood out. No free releases, no major blown coverages. For Ryans, this was the definition of complementary football. Special teams pinned Tennessee deep, the defense forced short fields, and the offense capitalized. In a moment, we'll show why this balance wasn't just about beating Tennessee, it's a blueprint for Houston's path forward in the AFC South. Houston now sits at 1-3. On paper, that doesn't sound dramatic. But inside the locker room, it means everything. Stroud described it as weight off the shoulders. Ryans emphasized clean execution and discipline. Together, those messages tell us that this win isn't viewed as a lucky break, it's the standard they want to set. It's also symbolic. The last time Houston pitched a shutout was 2010. 15 years later, they blanked the same franchise again. This wasn't coincidence. It was a statement. Keep watching, because soon we'll break down how the rookies, in particular Marks and Higgins, may end up defining this Texans season more than anyone expected. Marks finished with 119 yards from scrimmage, plus 2 touchdowns. Higgins added his first career score, and Collins delivered the explosive plays. For rookies, those numbers aren't just box score fillers. They're evidence that Houston's front office found immediate contributors. Ryan said post-game, "We don't draft rookies to wait. We want to see them be playmakers right now," and they delivered exactly that. In one quarter, the young players changed the identity of the team. Instead of an offense relying solely on Stroud, Houston now has layers, possession receivers, versatile backs, and emerging playmakers who stretch the field. Up next, we'll reveal why this formula will be tested immediately in Week 5 and what it means for the bigger picture. The Texans' win over the Titans was more than a shutout. It showed Houston fixing its red zone struggles, getting rookie impact, and playing with discipline. Stroud said after the game, "We just gotta keep building." And that's the point. This was just the first step. With Marks adding spark, Higgins finishing in the red zone, and Stingley's interception shifting momentum, the details most fans missed could shape the Texans' season. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.